This episode of Walt Disney World Today is being sponsored by Owner's Locker. And, you know, if you're Len Testa, you were born ready. But for the rest of us, we're not. And we need to have things ready for us. And that's where Owner's Locker comes in. They can store all that stuff for you in Orlando. So that way on your next trip to Walt Disney World, you can wake up and say, I was born ready, baby.
Wow.
It's just that easy. Give them a try at www.ownerslocker.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, June 23rd, 2008, and this is episode 425 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. On the show today, we have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Howdy ho, Matt.
Thanks, Len. And also on the show today, we have Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Outstanding. And hopefully with a better quote. You're in the rut, Mike. You haven't had some good ones lately. It's Mike Silva of alleears.net.
I don't mean to, but you've been sucking up lately. I mean, I'm sorry. Hey, how's it going, Mike?
You're the JD Drew of this team.
Jeez.
Scopa?
The piggy bank?
The ding dang?
Oh, that's Alan's Energy Adventure.
Yep.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
Yeah. So it's good if you can guess it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Something that can be understood by other human beings. Yes, that would be good.
That was wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Newell. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Also joining us is Annette Owens of MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. How are you, Annette?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me back.
I asked you a question, Annette.
Oh, I'm fine. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Missed that. Missed that question. I'm still thinking about the piggy bank. Was I asleep during that part, Alan?
I'm just teasing, yeah. I'm a teaser. Anyway, on today's show, we're talking about kid-friendly attractions. I know we often talk about general touring in the parks and everything, but sometimes a lot of people, want to tailor their trips around their kids. It's, a lot of times people come down to Walt Disney World primarily for their children, and they want to make sure their children have the best experience possible. Now, it goes without saying that there are certain attractions we can all think of that probably aren't great for kids. Tower of Terror, Mission Space. But there are plenty of attractions that are great for kids, and then there are some that maybe need to be defined if they are proper for kids. So we're going to go park by park and talk about the different attractions that are going to be good for kids. Let's start out with Animal Kingdom. And starting out, let's start out in Discovery Island. First one, this will be an interesting one. Tough to be a Bug. Off the bat, it appears to be a kids attraction, but what's your thoughts, Len?
Too many scary elements to it. The bugs flying around, the little sticks that poke you in the back that come out from the back of your seat. Are all a bit much for small children. Plus, there's a lot of noise.
And don't forget the tar they dump on you from above and the feathers that come down. It's just not fun.
The honey in the
Fire ants, yeah. That didn't do it for me. That just didn't do it for me.
That's classic.
We should just do a show all about attractions that we've never been on, but we just assume what they're about. And that could be one of them. Anyway. So what would you... Scope, are you in agreement that it's probably not a great attraction for all kids?
I agree with Len. I can recall being in there, and what's the name of that huge? Is it a grasshopper?
Oh, Hopper, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is a large audio animatron, and I can remember coming out of that attraction, and I recall seeing many moms saying to the kids, it wasn't real. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. And the kid is just crying and screaming. So I think it's one of those where, again, you have to understand your own child. And Len makes a good point. When it's loud, small children do not like loud things going on. So I would say, it's one of those, if the child is under 9 or 8, I don't know if I would take them there.
Okay, I got an 11 and a 14-year-old that sit on the floor if we go in there, because they don't want to feel any of this stuff. So,
wow.
No. Yeah.
Definitely not one you want to bring the infants to or the young children. I think we're all in agreement about that. Let's move on to Festival of the Lion King. Great for kids?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Not a problem at all, right?
They get the kids involved. They have that parade. The Lion sleeps tonight, and they're parading around in the Theater of the Round. It's a Theater of the Round for those who have never seen it. Now, I think it really. I think that one, Matt. I think it caters to the kids. which I think is great. And I think that's why I would say that's a definite plus and a yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I agree.
there's no children that you could envision not enjoying that attraction.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's dark, it's colorful, you'd have to be, no.
And it's the Lion
It'd be unusual. Yeah, it'd be unusual. I mean, it's kind of loud, and the ending is frenetic, but I think kids are typically mesmerized by that stuff.
Yeah, it would engage.
The other thing, Matt, is that the Lion King was probably, I think it is the most successful animation film that ever was made by the Walt Disney Productions, and there's a familiarity there. The kids understand the characters, they understand the music, so there's a familiarity there. There's a comfort level, and I think that works in their favor.
Okay, let's move on to Kilimanjaro Safari.
Kilimanjaro Safari.
Now, I'm trying to think. I would think this is a tough one, not because I don't think anyone's going to get scared on it. It can be kind of bumpy. I don't think it lasts long enough to really be. It's so frequent, infrequent rather, and I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think boredom would probably be more of an issue in my mind.
That's a tough one. I think that the issue here is the vehicle. I think that for some children, the rough ride may be an issue.
I think for Hannah it was the threat of being eaten by crocodiles. That was the.
That was you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Oh, we're going in.
Don't hang her over the side anymore."
What? You do it once. All I'm saying is you do it
You're
once.
just branded for life, right, Len?
Oh, Len just wants to turn every ride into an e-ride.
Yeah, I mean, Len, you and Michael Jackson just dangling kids. I mean, just misunderstood, really.
I'm my own little plussing machine. If I see a D-ticker ride and I think I can oomph it up a bit.
Nice.
I'm all about unbuckling the safety harness. I'm all about doing whatever needs to be done to just get that little extra element of excitement.
How about Expedition Everest?
No.
Well,
I've been behind kids who did nothing but scream the entire. It's like oh.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's screaming for delight and there's screaming for terror, and they're screaming out of terror. Right.
Gotcha. How about Kali River Rapids?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with
Why?
that.
Oh, why? Kids love get wet though. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would say you're gonna get really wet, but you know what? Kids love that kind of stuff. And last one in Animal Kingdom, Flights of Wonder.
Yes.
My Hannah hates.
My kids would not go there.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. The kids would love that. I mean, I go and I get such a kick out of it.
It depends. If the kid is, if the child is afraid of birds, there are huge birds in that attraction, so it's really tough. I mean, I would say Pocahontas and her forest friends would probably be a better one.
Wait, hold on. Go back a little bit. Only a week ago, I was called a weenie because I wouldn't go on Tower of Terror by some little 10-year-old, and she's afraid of birds.
Yeah.
Excuse
Len's
me?
daughter Hannah called me and Newell weenies for not going for.
I always liked Hannah.
Anyway, going to Dinoland. This is a dinosaur. I think we all agreement that no human should have to be subjugated to that attraction.
Right.
Right. Okay.
But those
Although
of us do.
Hannah loves it, although both my nieces hated it.
See.
Yeah.
Also, this is an interesting one. What about Primeval Whirl?
Oh, Hannah and I went on it this past trip. She loved it. She thought it was hysterical. We actually had and so Hannah's 10. We had an 8-year-old boy on it who had just gotten off of Everest, didn't love Everest, and was wondering about this ride, but he had more fun on this one.
Good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and actually both sides were operating on it too. I don't know when the last time was that you guys were on that both sides operated.
Yeah, there seemed to be a little few and far between, but I've recently ridden the left side, which is usually the one that's down, and certainly.
I rode left too, and they were using it for standby.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the kids love that one, but I'm not. As an adult riding with the kids, I prefer to sit and wait.
I would think for Primeval Whirl, you have to have kids that have a firm grasp on reality. You know what I mean? Like they understand how rides work and that they're controlled things. They're not out of control. So I think there's some kids that could do that. I think once you get to about 8 and above, I think they'd have they wouldn't have any problem with it. Assuming it looks like something they'd be interested in. let's move on to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and let's start with the Great Movie Ride.
Boy, this one is kind of borderline because I think that it's getting to the point where they need to upgrade it so that the kids can understand what some of those films are all about. They may know the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, they may know a little bit of Phantasmic, what's going on. Phantasmic. I'm sorry. And I just think that. I mean, I think that for some of the ride, it's entertaining, but I'm guessing that for most of the ride, the kids are saying, "Well, what's this film?"
Yeah.
So
I don't think they have any problem with it. I mean, it can be dark, it can be kind of loud, but I don't think anyone would really have a problem with it.
I don't know
like some of the other attractions we had mentioned.
That alien scene gets pretty intense.
Yeah, I think
for a 10-year-old, not for me, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm thinking, you know what it is? If you're having kids and you're worried about that, sit in the back, because by the time the back of the car goes into the alien scene, I mean, you've seen the alien come about 2 or 3 times already.
That's a good point.
And I think they'd be ready for it.
Yeah, and I took my nephews one time, and the shootout scene really got them scared too.
Yeah, loud.
Yeah, that can be loud.
It's very loud. Yeah, I forgot about that.
If they're not expecting it, if you haven't prepped them a little bit.
Yeah,
and because Motors action.
Nah. I mean, there's nothing scary about that at all.
It's fine.
Kids will be fine there. They might be bored, but they'll be fine.
Exactly.
What about the backlot tour?
Only if they're afraid of the Golden Girls. Oh wait, no, that was the old.
I mean, the only thing really I think be scary is on Catastrophe Canyon over there.
That for your first time, it might be a little frightening.
Yeah, but once it's over, the smiles and the laughter come. So
I've been more scared than the parking lot tram. I don't see.
You're gonna have a wide turn, and you're in the outside, and there's flying out.
Now that you've all ridden it, Toy Story Mania.
Nah, nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing, right?
Absolutely good.
I can't think of anything. Can you?
Let's move on to Future World over here. Soarin'.
There's nothing wrong about Soarin'.
Yeah,
the heights maybe.
It's as soon as but as soon as the film starts, I mean, I think everybody forgets the height. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know who's terrified to go on that last week? My mom.
Really?
Yeah, and she was just I guess it was the anticipation of it was far worse than it was. But she had perfect seats, top row, slightly to the right of center, beautiful seats, and was just absolutely terrified when she saw the size of the screen and she had heard that we were going hang gliding. She wanted to know if it went upside down, and I said, only for a minute or two.
Yeah, what a good son.
And I know, just totally.
What about now, Len? Is she ready to go on it again?
Oh, she loved it. She thought it was the best ride in Walt Disney World.
There you go.
Yeah, and I don't have any kid that's ever had a trouble with it.
Yeah, I think Mama Testa just had a first apprehension, but otherwise not.
She's got a devil child. That's all.
That would be the problem.
Probably has 2 or 3 of them, but okay, whatever.
How about Spaceship Earth?
No, nothing.
No.
That's fine.
Think so?
They may have a problem with that sulfur smell at one point, but other than that,
No, but you know what? The kid Hannah loved the new touch screens, and seeing herself in the. A child at heart. I really think I know you guys don't love the attraction now that it's been refurbed. I think it's a better attraction now than it was.
I'm liking it a little more. The more I travel on it, I'm liking it a little more.
When I wrote it with Hannah, I was amazed at how much more engaged she was in the attraction. And did they add a scene in the Egyptian scene? Did they add that little doorway thing? I don't remember ever seeing that before.
Yeah, I think they did. Is that on the right side?
Yeah, on the right side. Yeah, is that new?
Yeah. Yep.
How about Universe of Energy?
Dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs. The dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs could be an issue.
When I was a kid, I loved that scene with the dinosaurs. I thought it was great. Seeing the animatronic, the ones that weren't scary, they were just there. It's not like it's like on Dinosaur and Animal Kingdom where they're coming at you and and just blasting the audio in your ear. It's subtle. I'm just talking about my own personal experience here, but Scopa, when you fought the actual dinosaurs, was it scary?
They've done a pretty good job, but it just to me it's like ho hum. They're just animal. They're just machines.
If you've killed one animal, you've killed them all, right, Scopa?
Very quickly, Maelstrom.
Yeah. I remember Hannah being frightened on it a little bit when she went on.
The polar bear
troll,
might be.
maybe Maybe
Yeah.
the fear of going backwards, maybe.
I'm thinking you got to be.
Over the falls.
I think you got to have double digits in your age before I'd bring any kids on there.
I taught triple digits.
Going over to the Magic Kingdom now. Jungle Cruise.
No, nothing.
That should be
Nothing.
fine.
Yeah, they always cater to the kids anyway. They let them steer the boat and shoot the hippos. It's great. Going Pirates of the Caribbean.
Maybe some skeletons, but I don't know.
Maybe at the beginning, but
Yeah, the
after
drop.
that should be a problem.
A little
Yeah.
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah, that one can be tough. Scopo, what age would you say is good for that? Although, never mind. Scopo would say no kids at all.
No, I think any child that has seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I think would be fine to see that.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go over to Haunted Mansion.
No,
That's
nothing
a tough one.
Nothing scary there.
It's a lovely ride through just fields of roses and bright blue skies
And puppies.
Puppies.
Yeah, exactly.
And ice
Well,
cream. What do you guys think? Double-digit age again?
Yeah, I can remember when I was there. Well, wait a minute. It depends. I mean, maybe 8 and 9, possibly. Again, it depends upon the child. I can remember in May I was there when I came in. I flew in Thursday night, and there was a dad, and he was dragging his little girl, and she might have been about 6, 7, maybe 8, and she was screaming, no, 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 no. And then when they came out, she was fine. She was fine. It's one of those rides. It's very much
Sounds like Anna.
exploring, where once they experience it, it's fine. I think there are certain times in the attraction, like the attic now is a little bit different than it had been in the past. So, that ride's kind of scary.
Yeah. Annette, what do you think about for your kids and your experience?
I think kids are exposed to a lot sooner than they
Right.
used to be. I know my nephews, even at 5, have watched all the Star Wars movies, the Indiana
They
Jones.
watch Up. Have you heard that? Have you heard that phrase? They
That's
watch
exactly it. They watch Up, so they would
Carol Bunyan
probably be
phrase.
just fine. 6 and 7 on that. But it depends on what the child's been exposed to before they get down there. So it's kind of hard to put an age on it.
Right.
I got you. How about Snow White's Scary Adventures over in Fantasyland?
Hello again.
That is
Scary. It's in the title.
Oh,
I think it's just isn't it just Snow White's Adventure now?
Snow White's Scary Adventures.
scary
Is it still-
adventures.
That attraction has gone through a transformation because originally that attraction, you were Snow White. So everything was focused on you, and then they switched it around. So now you see Snow White in the actual attraction. So it's not as frightening to small children as it was for the first 20 years that it was in existence. So I think it's better than it has been. So I don't think it's as scary as it used to be. So it's probably okay.
Okay. How about Astro Orbiter?
Only the height.
Yeah, the height can be an issue.
I agree.
I think you'll know your kids. If your kids have height issues,
Right.
don't bring them on. Otherwise, I think they're fun. Buzz Lightyear?
No,
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, right? I mean, they could just sit there and stare and they'll be happy. And running at the list over here, Stitch.
Yeah, Stitch is a...
Yeah.
Stitch is I don't know. It's hard to say. Again, it depends upon the kid. I know the first time Len and I rode it, the first thing that came to our mind was that this is not a kid-friendly attraction.
At all.
No.
There's something about being trapped in the seat
In the
That's
dark.
right. You can't
Yeah.
comfort
in the
your kid.
dark. You can't comfort your kid if. Yeah, you're right. you
That's
can't.
right.
And the Stitch that you see is not the Stitch that you're used to.
Yes, that's also true. He's not the lovable. Ohana means family. It's
It's death to all Americans.
this is the Mike Scopa of Stitch. I hate all of you. You're all
Scopa.
bad.
Scope is scary adventure.
Kid, you bother me.
There's some cute parts in it, but it's in the dark and
And it's in
You
total
also don't know
darkness,
if you
too.
should root for Stitch or you should be upset at him for spitting at. I mean,
Yes.
It's gotten a little bit better. They've done a little bit more with the lighting and stuff like that, but it's still not a great attraction.
I agree.
I wouldn't. I mean, it and Sounds Dangerous are two of the two lowest rated attractions in all of Walt Disney World. I don't know if anybody would spend any time there. I mean, you'd really have to be on a quest to see every single thing.
Or are you hiding from your friends who you want to surprise on a May trip? You hide there.
I have to say though, I've told many a client, if you question it, go try it first. See what your child would think after you've tried it. because there's hardly any line there most of the time. So you could, but still, yeah.
That's a good tip, though, Annette.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for us today. Don't forget that this episode of Walt Disney World Today has been sponsored by Owner's Locker. And when you need a place to store all those tissues for your kid who's going to be crying his eyes out because you thought that Bug's Life wouldn't be that bad, well, the perfect place to store all those tissues is going to be your Owner's Locker, because you don't have to keep on flying them up and down. You can just leave them in Orlando. They'll be waiting for you. So the next time you can have them waiting there, and they'll be there every single trip until your kid finally matures and moves out at the age of 32. All set for you. Try them out at www.ownerslocker.com. And if you want to find our older episode, read our show notes, or send us your questions, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and the fabulous Annette Owens, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show. Did I say A Bug's Life?
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.